Hello, and welcome to Lab 2, Part A, Investigating Plate Tectonics using Google Earth. For this section, you'll be using Google Earth Pro. Additionally, you'll need to download the dynamicearth.kmz file from your Lab 2 section online. To add the Dynamic Earth KMZ file to Google Earth, simply drag and drop the file under Places. Then expand the layers of the file and check the box next to the plate boundary model layer. Make sure that you uncheck or turn off all other layers. Now that we are working in the plate boundary model layer, you will notice that the plates are labeled and outlined by different colors. For example, located offshore of the northwestern United States, we can see plate boundaries associated with the Juan de Fuca plate. Red for divergent boundaries or spreading center. Green for transform boundaries that connect divergent boundaries. And blue for convergent boundaries, or in this case, a subduction zone. Next, under the dynamic earth layer, check the box for Part A. This will turn on the layers that show the names and locations of earthquakes or seismicity, seen as red X's, volcanoes as seen as small red triangles, as well as plate names and plate boundaries. We will begin by using the search function in Google Earth. For example, let's search for New Zealand. Google Earth will automatically zoom to New Zealand, where we can see the various earthquakes, labeled volcanoes, and plate boundaries in the area. You will use this data to complete the table in your lab assignment. For example, our first location in the table is New Zealand. Yes, there are earthquakes. Yes, there is volcanism. And yes, there is a trench. Remember that a trench is a key characteristic of a subducting convergent plate boundary. Finally, for boundary and plate type, let's take a closer look at New Zealand's main plate boundary. Labeled in blue, New Zealand has a major convergent plate boundary. This plate boundary consists of the continental plate of New Zealand on one side and the oceanic plate subducting beneath it on the other. Thus, to complete the table, we have a convergent plate boundary with oceanic continental plate types. It's now time for you to complete your lab assignment for Part A. Follow the methods as outlined in this video for each of the locations listed in the table. Additionally, Table 1 from your lab sheet may assist you in completing the table, as it contains relative information for each type of plate boundary. This concludes Lab 2, Part A, Investigating Plate Tectonics using Google Earth. After completing Part A in your lab assignment, watch Video 3, Part B, Investigating Plate Tectonics using Google Earth. Please address your questions to your lab TA.